textbooks teach us about social media? Or, everything I learned about social media I learned from picture books. Social Media Primer. In this presentation, I will use kids' books to simplify sometimes complex social media concepts. Do you like my hat? Why use social media? Do other people like me, like my products or services? Social media starts with the question, do you like me? Although as a company brand, the question is more appropriately, do you like our products, services, our company? In other words, how do we connect? Similar to the question posed throughout the book, Go Dog Go. Do you like my hat? Not everyone is going to like your hat. They may like one of your hats, but they probably won't like them all. Social media is a great way to find out how your fans really feel about a product by seeing how they speak about it, about your brand with their friends. Keep it simple. Dick and Jane it. Use social networks as they're intended. Don't try to shove 300 characters into Twitter's 140 character limit. Facebook's news feed isn't built for rapid fire updates like Twitter, and Pinterest and Instagram are built for pictures, not for words. Regardless of what service you use, your message should be clean, direct, and short. Blog posts and feature stories on your website are better suited for nuance and subtlety. Use social media to guide your followers to the longer content located on your website. Find your genuine place. Find your true. Jerome is the story of a frog who gets turned into a prince by a witch but still looks like a frog. And after testing him with various princely deeds, the local villagers eventually accept him as a prince. Which social network is right for you? For some, it's Twitter and Facebook. For others, Google Plus or Instagram. Most likely, it'll be a combination of a few different social networks that will help you reach your widest audience possible. Keep a consistent identity. When you use multiple networks, remember to keep your voice consistent. This includes everything from avatars to messages. Some great examples of this kind of consistency are Google, Amazon, and Disney. Each of these companies keeps a consistent brand identity across multiple social networks. Decide on the type of voice that will resonate the most with your audience. Is it a voice of God approach? Is it a playful approach? Or is it one of a serious tone? Whichever voice it is, it needs to be genuine and authentic. Fans will recognize when a brand is speaking down to them or not treating them in an authentic manner, just as Jerome believes he is a prince and states as much to the villagers in a genuine voice. Engage with your followers to clarify who you are and what you stand for. Don't correct them in a belittling manner. Throughout the story, Jerome happily agrees to the tasks. He never corrects the villagers, he simply goes about his princely business and convinces everyone through his actions that he is actually a prince. Build your community. Similar to the frog in Jerome, Mr. and Mrs. Duck in Make Way for Duckling are searching for a place to live. After settling in along the Charles River and hatching her ducklings, Mrs. Duck decides to take them on a trip through Boston to the public gardens. Along the way, she enlists the help of a local policeman. He in turn calls on his fellow officers to help guide the way. Similar to Mrs. Duck's efforts, you can use social media to rally people around your product, your service, or your cause, and ask them to spread the word. Once on board, these fans can be converted into evangelists by using engagement and great customer service. Once they become evangelists, they'll end up recruiting other fans to help spread the word, similar to the policeman's efforts with his fellow officers. One company that's using great customer service to build a community is Microsoft with their Xbox support. Xbox support responds in near real time to questions posed to it across various social networks. This is also a great example of a company giving something to its fans, which leads us to our next point. Give, and then give some more. Like the tree in Shel Silverstein's The Giving Tree, we need to give to our fans and keep them coming back for more. And the give doesn't have to be huge or unusual either. It could be things that fall naturally within your marketing or communication plans. Contests for pride or prizes, videos, pictures, really anything your brand feels comfortable giving away. Keep the gives tied to your brand and relevant to the audience. Think about how the tree gave leaves, apples, limbs, trunk, all of it tied back to the tree and what it was able to give since it couldn't move. Be curious, but keep perspective. We can actually learn a lot from our buddy Curious George. The first thing we can learn is to be curious and explore new opportunities. Take a look at all the social networks out there and how companies are engaging their customers using those networks. But don't let your audience get away because you lost sight of your goals. Finding new ways to engage is necessary, but don't make it another mouth to feed. Let it also work for you. Sony Electronics' Pinterest page is a great example of this. The company's finding a new way to reach its audience, but keeping it focused on the Sony brand, staging contests and fan engagements related to their products. Go where the wild things are. Tame the wilderness. When Max leaves his home at the beginning of Where the Wild Things Are, he isn't concerned with danger. He is simply looking for adventure. In a similar fashion, we shouldn't be worried about putting our brands out there as long as we have a plan. We already know that there's going to be negative sentiment out on the internet, just as there is in real life. And just as we noted in Go Dog Go, not everyone is going to like all of your products. As you create more of a social footprint, take the time to identify and address this negative sentiment. Hear the person's complaints and address them in a positive manner. By listening to them, your brand can become stronger, and you can also have the opportunity to share your brand's position on a subject. A complaint is an opportunity to make things better. Take that opportunity. Ultimately, this will help you convince them of your viewpoint. Even if they still disagree with you, chances are you've gained their respect and maybe even a fan of the brand. Bang-ups and hang-ups. Things happen. A graduation favorite, Oh, the Places You Will Go, offers up a lesson in planning ahead and not getting lost in a crisis. Like many endeavors, things can go wrong, and most likely there'll be a bump or two in the road. Putting a crisis plan in place will help lessen the damage from those bumps. A crisis plan shouldn't be about reacting to negative sentiment, but be more focused on situations such as a personal tweet going out from a brand account, a typo on a Facebook post that changes an innocent word into a red-faced moment. A crisis plan should also include issues that occur at events like having to evacuate a building. When you do take a misstep, be human about it. Don't try to cover it up or bury your head in the sand. Face it head on, and chances are the damage will be minimized. A great example of this is how American Red Cross handled a personal tweet going out on the official Twitter account. They responded by first deleting the tweet and then admitting to the error in a humorous manner. We are lucky. We are lucky to be working in social media and digital media marketing, and we should enjoy that position. Thank you.